Okay, so I'm going to clean the carbs out now. I've got some carb cleaner. Well, actually, this is brake cleaner. It's much the same stuff. And it's pretty vile stuff, I warn you. So, you know, it smells. So I'm going to open the garage door in a minute to get rid of the fumes, and I'll put the fan on. Right, I'm getting ready to clean these parts. I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two jets out of the sort of central holder, because they are pretty, you know, there's a lot of crud in them, and I just want to make sure I've got it all out. I was going to leave them in there, but I'm not going to. Oops. See if I can get two spanners together. I can't at the moment. Come on, Butterfingers. There we go. So just going to take the main jet out so I can give it a good clean. And I'm going to take the needle jet out as well. Just to be on the safe side, make sure we've got as much out as we can. So yeah, I'm just going to clean it out. Clean the needle jet out. Float bowl. Fuel in there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for a start, I'm going to see if I can get, yeah. So this sticky, I'm not sure what it is, but this brown sticky is coming off with the cleaner. Just clean up the outside of the carb as well, just for, you know, cosmetic. And get that brown. It's on the tickle pin as well. That's sticky stuff. No, I don't know what it is. Right, but the main thing is to see if I can make sure that the pilot jet's clean. So I'm going to squirt through. That's for the main jet. Yeah. So then, yeah, through there, and then that's clear. And then I'm going to put it in through the air screw. And again, I'm looking for it to come out of the venturi. Yeah. There are two really small holes in the end of the venturi, which you probably won't be able to see. They're just pinholes. They're just in there, and that's the main part of the pilot circuit. That's it, and I've got them coming out of there now. So it's squirting through really nicely now. So I know that the pilot circuit is clean, and that's the main one. Squirting through there, and there's these two pinholes that you probably can't pick up on the camera that are inside the venturi, and I want to see it coming out of there. The venturi itself has still got some of that brown gunging, which I think is, as I said, it looks like well seal, but I don't know. Just making sure that this little taper on the, this is the air screw that goes in the side of the carburetor, and that controls the mixture in the pilot circuit. And it's, as you can see, it's got a taper on the end, and I'm just trying to make sure that that taper is totally clean, because it controls a very fine amount of fuel and air, and so it wants to be perfectly clean to allow, you know, good adjustment and good flow over it. Right, that's good. Okay, I think that's all clean through. Oh, someone's coming home. And the next thing we're going to do is the is the actual throttle valve. Now, this throttle valve has still got, I don't know if you can see, but there's all springs and that, little springs around this throttle rod here, which are actually completely superfluous. You don't need them. They were always fitted like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those springs off, which will free the throttle rod, and we're going to take the needle out. But when we put it back together, I'm not going to put those springs in, okay, because the central spring that holds, that the throttle acts on is enough on its own. You don't need those there to hold the throttle valve open. What I am going to do is I'm going to just clean the throttle valve before I take it apart, because it's got that horrible stuff on, which I think is well sealed, but I'm just going to get rid of it because it's so horrible and sticky to hold that I want to get rid of it and get it a bit clean before I take it apart. Let's see what that's like. It's still got that marking on it, but there, that's got rid of that horrible stickiness. Ugh. Right, I'll move that out of the way. And what we're going to do, I'm just going to prise off the these springs and collets and things on this throttle rod here, as I say, which we're going to get, but we're going to get rid of them later. So I'll see if I can't even remember how to get them off, but see if I can prise them off. There we go. So there we have the sort of collet. It's a bit like a valve, stem really. So like there's sort of top of the valve, and there's a valve spring, and that's like the valve that goes through it, and that collet just sits on this throttle rod. Right, now let's have a think. Right, so I can now get the throttle needle out of the way. Note that it's on middle groove of 3. Put that aside. And then, as ever, I can get the throttle rod out by pushing it up, moving it across to the middle and coming out. And then there, and that's the bottom plate. So these 3 items, the bottom plate, then the spring, and then the top collet, they're not going to go back in on any of the throttle valves, because that is just going to go in, back in, and as per a fairly normal throttle valve, when that's in, then it's simply held in place with a spring, and that'll be enough. Okay, but keep the throttle rod there, and I'm just going to take this apart, and I'm just going to very lightly, I'll probably use some dear old Scotch-Brite again. See this needle, I don't know if you can see, but it's all pretty gungy. It's all, covered in white. I can feel that there's a slight ridge there, which is definitely not good. There's a ridge there as well, but a particularly big ridge there. So I'm just going to sort of, lightly clean it, and I'll lightly clean the sides of the throttle valve. Only lightly. You don't want to scratch them. Certainly don't want to scratch the needle. But just clean and get this sort of white bloom off them. Okay, and then when we've cleaned it all, then we'll go for reassembly. We'll probably check the float height and then go for full reassembly. Okay, leave it there for now.